Hi everyone, welcome to our DroidScript Cloud Services video tutorials. In this video, let's talk about integrating the new cloud database in our application. One of the major feature or services that the Premium Plus account offers is this cloud database that uses Packetbase. The new cloud database, it is an online database that uses Packetbase. It is an open source backend consisting of the following. We have first embedded database. It uses SQLite with real-time subscriptions. You can use this database if for making chat application or any applications that uses live data to render into your app. We have also built-in auth management, so you don't have to worry about implementing authentications in your applications. We also have a nice UI for our dashboard, and the database offers a simple REST API, if easy to understand, easy to use, and you can use it right away. The database itself is very fast. It uses a Go language in the back end, so we all know that Go is really fast. The Premium Plus email, we have talked about this topic in our previous videos. In this email, we have our cloud database URL, okay, and our cloud key, of course. And it looks like this, of course. And then our cloud database dashboard is this third link here. So your name, -db.droidscript.cloud, and your credentials. Here are some sample applications where you can use Packetbase. So, example, if you are creating real-time messaging and notifications, you can use this new cloud database or this Packetbase because it has real-time event subscriptions for CRUD operations. We have also, you can also use this for managing clients, access and rules, content creating, editing and publishing, product catalog, inventory and order tracking, task assignment, scheduling, and progress tracking. And also you can use this for file sharing and media storage. As I said in my previous video, the file sharing and media storage uses 1 gigabyte of storage online, but you can always use third-party storage to upgrade your storage. At the end of this video, you should be able to first set up Packetbase in your native app. Second is create new collection. Third is do basic CRUD operations, create, read, update, and delete. And the last is I want to show you how to set up Packetbase in your Node.js application, also in DroidScript. Okay, so without further ado, let's go to our Cloud Database UI dashboard. Okay, so if you click the third link from our email verification, it will open this UI dashboard here. So this is the UI dashboard for our Packetbase database. I will create a new collection of type base. So click this new collection button right here, and then it will open this side panel, and we will name our collection post, and then the type is base. You can also use other collection type here, but for now I will use base collection base, and then I will add new fields here, something like name. So it's a plain text name, and then the next one is maybe description. It's just a plain text also, description, and then create. Okay, so I have successfully created my post collection right here, and I want to pin this so that it will always display this post collection at the top. It is very helpful if I have too many collections right here. And then the next one is how to set up Packetbase in our native application in DroidScript. So how to do that? First, I will create a native application in my DroidScript Wi-Fi IDE. So I'll go to my Wi-Fi IDE right here. I'm already connected to my mobile, and I will create a new native application right here, new native, and I will call this Packetbase native, and just select simple and press OK. So, and our project now has been created, and this is the entry point for our project. Now I will use the DroidScript version 3 code editor, code edit. I have here my files, Packetbase native, and I will click that. So it will open this code in a nice code mirror editor. I will just remove all these code blocks inside this onStart function. The next thing to do is to load the Packetbase scripts that we need. So for that, we need to install the npm package for Packetbase, and we will get that UMD file from there. Okay, so I will create a local directory in my machine. Okay, so in my sample folder, I will just run npm init. So to initialize this one as a Node.js project, and then I need to install npm install Packetbase. npm install Packetbase does the save to save that package in our node modules. Okay, so we have installed that Packetbase package. After you install the module, open the folder and navigate to our node modules and then open this Packetbase folder. And then in this folder, find that umd.js file. So we'll use that umd.js file and then load that in our DroidScript native applications. Here, this is the packetbase.umd.js file. And then in our application, I will use this file browser by DroidScript. File browser, head to our Packetbase native. Okay, so I will create a JS folder in this directory. So folder JS. Open this one and then drag this packetbase.umd.js file in this JS folder. Okay, just like that. And we have now uploaded our packetbase.umd.js file. And in our code, we can then load that using app.script method. So app.script js/packetbase.umd.js. Okay, true to load that inline. And then now we have already loaded our packetbase.umd.js, so we can initialize our Packetbase database. So var URL equals my URL is, looking back in our email verification, the URL is this your name -db.droidscript.cloud. Okay, so if you go to our Packetbase dashboard, this link right here, until cloud, and I will copy that and paste here in our codes. My name -db droidscript.cloud. And then, since we are using the JavaScript SDK for Packetbase, we'll go to the JavaScript JS SDK in GitHub. So this is github.com Packetbase JS SDK. Here in our usage, we have already loaded our Packetbase database. We can copy this one, const pb equals, okay, but I will omit this const keyword here to expose this pb variable globally. Then instead of this default URL, I will paste my URL here. Just like that, we are all set up and we can now use our Packetbase database. Now let's try some basic CRUD operations. We'll try to create a record, read a record, update a record, and delete a record. But first, I will store the collection name in a call variable. So I will name this one var call equals post. We'll reference the post collection that we have created at the beginning of this video. We will initialize our data to be added into our collection. So var data equals, we have the name field, let's say John. We have also the description field. This is a description. So we have a data here. The name field is John and description field is this is a description. So these are the fields we have in our post collection, name and description. Okay, so to add this record into our post collection, we'll call pb.collection. We'll pass the call or the post collection and then use the create method passing the data right here. Since this is an asynchronous method, we can listen to the resolve and reject callback. So we have then a record because it will return a record. So we will say console.log success. So this operation right here, this code right here, pb.collection passing the collection or the post collection that create. So we'll create a record in that post collection passing the data that we have here at the top. If the operation is successful, it will call this resolve callback and we will just console.log success. And if there's an error, we will just console.log that error. Okay, if we run this one, we have an error here that says only admins can perform this action. Going back into our database dashboard, we'll click this post collection and this gear icon right here, click this one and open this API rules. And then in this create rule, it says that admins only. So only admins can create to this collection. So toggle this lock button right here and leave empty to grant everyone access. We now have removed the restriction on that collection. So if we run this one, it now displays success and we have successfully added our first record in our post collection. So if we go to our database and refresh this post collection, we can now see that we have successfully added our first record, name John, and our description. This is the description. Next is how to read the data. I will just comment this one. pb.collection will pass that post collection that get full list. This will return an array of records within this post collection that we have. Since this is an asynchronous method, we can listen to the resolve and reject callbacks. If this operation is successful, we'll call this then callback, passing the records, which is an array. So we'll console.log that one, json.stringify records null 2. We also have a catch callback error. If there's an error, we'll just display that error. Okay, so if we run this one, okay, so it displays an error 403, only admins can perform this action. So the same as this previous error right here, we'll go to our post collection, click this gear icon and this API rules, go to list/search rule. In order for non-admins to read or list records in this collection, click this button right here and leave empty to grant access to everyone. Save changes, and we'll go back to our DroidScript project and run again our application, and we now have displayed our first record. We now have displayed our first record in our post collection. We have the collection ID, collection name, created, description, ID name, and updated fields, which exactly the fields that we have here in our post collection right here. The third one is update a collection. To update a collection, we need to have a reference to the ID of the collection that we want to update. So here at the top, I will hard code the ID of the collection that I want to update. So I will copy this ID right here, or I will just get here from this debug tab that we have. Paste that here, and then I'll just comment this one. To update a record, still use pb.collection instance, passing the collection, and then call the update method and passing first the ID and our new data object. Okay, so if we update the name, we can do that. We can also update both the name and the description. The name now is, let's say we'll set this to my name, and the description is, this is a new description. This is a new description for this post. And then we also listen to the resolve and reject callback record. We will just display success if the operation is successful, and if there's an error, we'll just display the error. If we run this application, we still have this only admins can perform this action. Okay, so we'll go back again to our post collection, and here in this gear icon, click this API rules tab and this update rule. It says that admins only, so click this one and leave empty to grant access to everyone. I want also to unlock this delete rule to grant access to everyone, as well as this view rule. If we run this one, we now have this success text displayed in our debug tab. So we have successfully updated our record in the post collection. If we refresh this one, we now have this new name and our new description. The last one is the delete operation. Okay, so to delete a record in our collection, we still need to have a reference on the ID of the record that we want to delete. So I will just use this ID right here, and I am going to delete that first record that we have. Okay, just to show you an example. Okay, pb.collection, passing the post collection that we have, and then delete, call the delete method, passing the ID of the record that we want to delete. And since this is an asynchronous function, I can listen to the resolve and reject callback. So if this is resolved, then I will call that then callback. So we have the record. We'll just use an error function, console.log deleted. And if there's an error, I will handle this in a catch, a callback, and console.log error. I can now successfully delete this record right here because I have granted access to everyone in the delete rule field. Okay, so if I run this one, it should stay deleted. Okay, just like that. If I'll go to our post collection and reload this one, we now have successfully deleted the only record that we have here. Okay, so that's all for this video. And since this video takes longer than expected, I will just create another video on how to integrate a packet-based database into your DroidScript Node.js application. See you there, guys.